Hello and welcome to the Your Partnerships Meets. I'm here with Tom. We're going to talk all things about mortgages and why in the world do you need a independent mortgage broker? I know too well how much it helped me personally, but I don't want to get into all those details right now. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how it all works.
Yeah, so I'm Tom. Company is Complete Mortgage Advice, and we've been running for 4 years now. So first started the company 4 years ago, but I've been doing actually mortgage broking or mortgage advice for the last coming up to 12 years.
Okay.
So I look too young to be doing it 12 years, but I have been.
Self-imposed there. There you go.
So, yeah, there you go. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. But you started quite young. Your time before we went on set there. Yeah, you were quite young when you got into it all.
I was, yeah. I always knew I wanted to work in some sort of finance, but I didn't know exactly what. But once I found kind of mortgage advising, I knew I was the one.
Cool.
It's not exciting to everybody, but it's
everybody's got to do their part.
They have, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about, because I know we talked earlier about self-employed and how that works.
Yeah, so I think the main thing that I tend to see is that it's like a necessary evil, I guess, with mortgages. If you want to own a house, most people have to have a mortgage. So the benefit of using like an independent broker, in my view, is that we're specialists at finding the right deal for each individual circumstances. So your circumstances, Brock, are going to be a lot different to what mine would be.
Yep.
And the next person who would sit here, their circumstances would be a lot different, whether it's their income, family life, or even their future goals.
Or age.
Yeah, but you look really young as well.
Well, but that's right.
Yeah. So,
that's right.
So yeah, it's about finding the right fit for the right client. So it's not like a one-size-fits-all scenario. So we tend to get a lot of people that have just gone straight into their bank. So be like, well, I've banked with my bank for 10 years, so I'll go in and I'll say, oh, I need to have a mortgage. The downside to doing that is you're only going to get quoted one rate, which is the rate that particular bank can offer you. And there might be a whole range of different rates out there that could save you potentially tens of thousands of pounds over the term of your mortgage. Or they'll tell you can only borrow this amount when there might be a lender that might lend you another 30% of that again on top. Because they've all got different criteria. So you're just limiting yourself, I think. If you're going to go direct to a lender, you're just kind of taking a stab in the dark as to, will I fit the criteria? Will they lend me the money that I need? And am I going to get the best interest rate that there is available? So that is where someone like myself comes in.
I heard another mortgage broker years ago put it this way: if you go into a bank, it's like an a la carte menu. You get 3 items.
Yeah.
When you go to an independent, it's like a smorgasbord or an all-you-can-eat buffet. You can look at everything.
That's exactly it. We're whole of market, so we've got access to all of the lenders. So that is the key part, is having access to all of them. And I've had, in the past, I've had clients that have come to me and said, oh, I've been told I can only borrow this much. And we've been able to get far more borrowing. And suddenly the house that they didn't think they could get, they now can.
Yep.
And that's what it's all about, because
Absolutely.
People don't come to me for a mortgage, they come for a house, realistically.
True. They didn't come to get put in debt, but
it's just part of owning a house. Yeah, exactly.
Unfortunately, it is. And we were talking earlier, so that's great how you can help out the self-employed, and obviously in the network, predominantly it is self-employed, which is great. And then you also talk about your work with people on their portfolios. And
so something we've started doing over the last few months, we've been doing a lot more, is I was up in London last week. I went to Windsor, and I've been speaking to a guy who specialises in inheritance tax. So he does inheritance tax planning. There's a couple of solicitors and an accountant as well. We're all kind of working together to help people with their inheritance tax planning, essentially. So landlords that own multiple properties, suddenly you're in the realms of thinking, okay, well, a lot of people build it and they say it's something to leave my family. However, have they thought about the implications of how much of that is going to get taxed when they leave it to their family?
Absolutely.
So there's different ways you can structure your portfolio, whether it's in a limited company or there's trusts that can be set up. So it's all about trying to maximise what you can leave to your family, because we all work hard.
Yes.
We all want to provide for our family and hopefully leave a bit of a legacy. So
and of course the inheritance tax and all the rest of it you've got to plan for all that stuff.
Absolutely.
And of course you got to keep on top of it, because they change it all the time.
And that is the trouble, is they change it all the time, move the goalposts constantly. So it's about knowing what's right to do with the properties.
I was talking earlier to another interview I was doing, and it was all about portfolios and properties, and we're saying the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Every election, you got to relook at
You do,
what works now.
Yeah, and not only that, it's not only the inheritance side of it, like you say, it's the actual profit you're making on the properties and all the tax changes around that and all the legalities around that. They like to keep landlords on their toes, that's for sure.
So what would you, if and also, what if somebody was a first-time buyer? What would you recommend?
First-time buyer, I think it's essential to speak to an independent. I think that as you become a bit more experienced in mortgages, if your situation is quite straightforward, I guess, if you've got a couple that are on really good salaries, they've had mortgages over the years, they kind of know what they're doing a little bit, they might be able to get their way through. But I think as a first-time buyer, if you don't have any experience, I think it's essential to speak to an independent mortgage broker or advisor who can guide you in the right direction, tell you what is right and what is wrong. Because there's so much misinformation out there on the internet as well at the moment. And I see things all the time that drives me crazy.
Yeah.
People saying, oh, you should do this if you're a first-time buyer. And you look at it and think, no, you really shouldn't be. Yeah.
I suggest to everybody they need an independent broker because it's just, I suppose you're right in the fact of, if it's my 12th house I've bought and I've been doing it and I know it, you're right. They can figure it out themselves. The average person, I mean, it just doesn't make sense to do something that you can get a professional to do because you don't charge anything. That's the thing. You don't charge the client anything. So why would you not have the professional advice?
It just makes perfect sense too. I think the main scenario is first-time buyer and portfolio landlords. I think when you're dealing with multiple properties, there's multiple mortgages involved, and you're looking to grow that portfolio, I think the advice is crucial at that point because one kind of misstep with a mortgage or one thing that isn't quite right can affect the whole portfolio and affect future lending as well. So it comes down to what are your plans in the future, because you might structure it very differently now, depending on where you plan to take your portfolio and what you plan to do.
Cool. And then, of course, and as you said before, you're self-employed as well. So any of those categories, definitely need to come talk to Tom. Talk to Tom first, right?
Come to me first. I mean, there are other brokers available, but we won't talk about them. So self-employed is a big one for us.
Yeah.
So we've had many clients that have spoken to other brokers or their bank and been told, oh, well, you can't do it. For example, 1 year's accounts is the classic.
Yes.
Oh, you have to have 3 years accounts, which is a common misconception.
Yeah.
2 years, you're going to have most lenders are going to be available to you. 1 year, there are a handful of lenders. If you've only been trading 1 year, you can get a mortgage with them. Yeah. So that's a common misconception. And the other one is the different incomes you might have. Yep. So for self-employed, you might have someone that owns a couple of properties and gets rent. They might have a limited company where they take dividends and also a director's salary. Suddenly, it's not quite as straightforward as I need your last 3 months' pay slips because you've got income coming from different sources. Yeah. And each lender is going to assess that very differently.
I get all that. It always winds me up a little bit that when you're self-employed, you got to prove more. When you're employed, just your pay slip, like you said.
Exactly.
But you surely you're safer in your self-employed because it's yours and you're going to put everything into it.
Yeah.
Whereas the people you're working for could change their mind the next day, or something the government does. They've got to cut jobs and everything else. You could be out of the job in 2 seconds. So
this is a huge debate around self-employed and employed. And sometimes you'll speak to somebody who is employed and they'll say, oh, I don't think I could deal with the risk of being self-employed.
Well, that's different personalities. I get that.
Yeah. And I'm like, but employed, you could go into work tomorrow and be told, that's it.
Or you could just walk away. I mean, that was when I left the military. When we did our retraining for getting to becoming a civilian again.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. They said, "Oh, by the way, in the civilian life, you're allowed to vote with your feet." It really blew my mind. Oh, sorry, you can just walk away.
Yeah.
Wow.
You could just turn up and go, no, I'm leaving now. Yeah.
Never. That was a concept I couldn't believe. No. Anyway, anything else you'd like to add? I mean, I think the main thing is just get a hold of you and find out what you can do.
Yeah. I think anyone who's looking for any advice around mortgages, just give me a shout. Happy to talk. And
starting that, I'd say start that journey earlier than later. Even if you're just looking for a house, go ahead and find out, because that's the best time. You don't want to go, I want that house in that neighborhood, overlooking that seafront or whatever. then you can't afford the damn thing.
I like to think that I'm a dream maker. So someone will come to me and say, I want to buy a house. And I'll say, well, you can buy up to this much. And they'll go, oh, you've made that reality. Thank you. I don't want to be the dream crusher.
Exactly.
Where they say, I found this house. And
yeah,
I
that's what I
absolutely
meant.
love it.
Come to you first
Yeah,
and
come
find
to me
out.
first.
Okay, here's how much I can afford.
Yeah.
You got that then. You know not to look at the 7.2 million.
Exactly.
Okay,
it's a little bit out of your price range. So
well, for some it is, some it isn't. Just depends. But first time out to the studio itself. So what would you say about Corker Media from your experience today?
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah.
I always like to say thank you to the guys. Jay's behind there making all the magic happen and everything. Shane's out running around as Shane always is. But you're welcome back anytime. But they take good care of you out here. But look, Tom, I want to really appreciate you for coming on today. Appreciate everything you do in the network and the people you've already helped and the ones that you will help in the near future as well. So
Perfect. Thanks, Brock.
Thank you. And we'll see you again soon.